I know you will enjoy us as we start this discussion, because sex before marriage has been something that we really, really have to talk about. And as Christians, we know what the Bible says about it, and we have to also encourage our brothers and sisters in the Lord not to do what the world is doing regarding sex before marriage. And to help us talk about today's topic, we have in our midst Mrs. Rachel Awa to help us discuss about this issue thoroughly. Mrs. Rachel, how are you doing?
By the grace of God, I'm fine.
How has the year been so far?
By the grace of God, it's been good. We thank God.
We are in the 4th month.
We can't complain.
We can't complain.
Yes.
God is surely with us.
Yes.
The presence of God is with us.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so quickly, without wasting much time, I know you're a married woman, and what you are talking about today is very, very interesting. When I say interesting, I'm talking about how controversial it is.
Yeah.
We are talking about sex before marriage. Now, I would like to know, why is sex before marriage such a big deal? Why is it something that's very controversial? What do you think about it? Is it such a big deal? Is sex before marriage a big deal?
I would like to use this opportunity to thank your viewers and also your able self for calling me for this program. I'm highly honored to be called. Like the topic says, sex before marriage. It's a big deal because in the beginning, God first made Adam before he made Eve. And I believe Adam didn't know Eve. He just woke up one day and saw Eve, and they were together. So why will it be a deal now for you to know your partner sexually before you marry him or her? So biblically, it's a deal. That was not how God started it. So it's not the right thing we are supposed to do.
Okay, but to ask this as a follow-up question, why is it wrong? Why is it wrong for people to involve themselves in sex before marriage? Now, the reason why I'm asking this is because for Christians, we know what the Bible says about it, and from the lessons we've had. So basically, for Christians, we know it is sinful, it is wrong. But for those who are not Christians, why do you think it's wrong for them? Because we are proclaiming we know Christ. They don't know Christ. And we are proclaiming that we know Christ, for us, it is a big deal. For us, it is wrongful. It is sinful. But for them, why should it be a sin to them? For someone who maybe might not be necessarily religious.
Do you know something, Brother? Even we, the Christians, we are doing it. Yes. We, the Christians, we say we are Christians, that we are role models for others to watch. We are doing it. Some are doing it. So let me say most are doing it.
Okay.
We are having sex before marriage. And it's not the right thing. Like I'm saying from the beginning, I believe Adam didn't know how Eve was. He only slept and woke up and saw Eve. So he didn't know that, that part, even how sweet it is, till they sinned. And that's to leave and now start giving birth. That Adam would even know that, okay, so this woman has a part that is interested. He didn't know. It is wrong for us as youth to have sex before marriage, whether Christian or not.
Why? The question is why?
There are so many things attached to it. The first thing I want to talk about is that God doesn't like it. In the book of Hebrews, it says that we shouldn't defile the marriage bed. So don't go and test it before you even go into it. Because this marriage thing was created by God. He knows why he said, wait before you go in. So why do you want to rush into it? 2, let me leave spirituality a little and come physically. I learned that if you have sex with a person, you are attached to your soul with that person. So let me be a little bit biological, scientifically. You know, during sex, a man releases sperms and the woman releases some eggs. there are juice that comes out of two of us. Now, this juice coming out of two of us, if it's fortunately met in a woman, it becomes a baby. A baby is a living soul. Now, you pour it into a condom, you pour it on the bed, or you pour it anywhere else, there's still a soul. So anybody watching or listening to me, if you have sex before marriage, that number of men or women you've had sex with, their souls are in you. So imagine the number of men who have souls in you.
So how do you go about that?
You've done it. Only God can rectify that mistake you've done.
So now, and my next question, from the little that I know that I'm just presuming, and I hope my presumption is right.
No problem.
I know that in the olden days or before our time, even to mention the word sex was very, very sacred.
Abominable.
Yes. And it was like, it wasn't necessarily a norm.
Yeah.
But if you look at our age, our time today, it's just like you waking up and having your bath, brushing your teeth. Like, sex before marriage has become a norm. What has accounted for this? Is it that we've thrown away our culture to the wind, or what is actually wrong? Because back in the days, it wasn't like that. Hardly will you see those kind of things.
Thank you. And by this question, I'm even too young to answer the question, but I know with the Spirit of God will answer it. In those days, I will first blame our parents for not having enough time for us. Now, like my director will say, we're in the 5th generation, technological generation. Every parent is now looking for money. Irrespective of where the child is, what the child is doing, everybody needs money to take care of this child. And this child, we are looking for money to take care of. What is the child doing? Where is the child? We have left the child at the mercies of so-called teachers and friends. So they have been advised by anybody they get. I remember one woman of blessed memory. Her name was Yadu Krum. That's what I used to call her those times. I was with my sister going to church, and I was in a short skirt. It wasn't that short then, but to her it was short. This woman insulted me, came to church, called my mother, insulted her, called my father, insulted him. My parents now came home and were looking for me. You can imagine. I was like, I didn't insult her. She only said my skirt was short. Why should you wear that skirt to church? It's in vogue. I thought it was norm. I was penalized that day because of that short skirt I wore. Children of today, can we advise them? Would they even listen to advice from parents? And because of our exposure to phones, to technology, we think God is technological, but He is not. He is God of old. So we understand that and come back to it. We are going contrary. And also, we are learning much of Western world culture. You know, the Western world is a norm for a girl to kiss a boy, it's a norm for those things. But Africans, is it our culture? It's not. So maybe we should look at that part too, because we are learning from the whites. For them, I think it's a norm. It stands to be corrected. But for us here, it's not a norm. But now, that stands to be a norm, which is not right. So it's from these things, parents, Western world, and we the youth now, we're not ready to listen to anybody, but to do our own will. And our own will might not be the will of God.
Okay, now, talking about parents and culture and all those stuff. Now, in dealing with issues of sex before marriage, what role do you think, first of all, parents should play, the church should play in dealing with issues of sex before marriage? Because we all know that the first point of call for every individual on earth is the family.
Yeah.
So let's narrow it down to the nuclear family. What role should our parents play in dealing with issues of sex before marriage? What role should the church itself play in dealing with sex before marriage? Because as you rightly said, when we go to school or when we go outside, we meet different kinds of individuals. We don't know their perception, we don't know their belief. So if you don't get the proper education, or if you don't get the right thing about what sex before marriage really is, there are going to be some consequences. So in tackling that, what role should the family play, or let me say, what role should parents play, and what role should the church play in tackling, in dealing with issues of sex before marriage?
Let me start with the family. I think from the age 5, or let's say 6.
Don't you think it's too early?
It's not.
Why?
Because some girls now menstruate even 9 years, 7 years. So it's not.
But they don't have the understanding.
Don't say that. They understand. Call the girl. Call the boy. These are your private parts. If anybody touches them, tell me. Don't do this. There was a joke I heard. I don't know how true it is. A parent and a child, I think it was like 4 or 5 years then, was watching TV. And the show was a romantic show. And they nearly kissed. So after kissing, they had sex. They were about to have sex. And the father had to put off the TV that, oh no, it's no good. The boy, that's a 4 years boy, told the father that if he hadn't stopped, put off the TV, the way the man would have had sex with the woman, And the man was like, really? So you know it? Now the kids are even exposed. Now go back to our schools. Now our curriculum, in our textbooks, it's inside about sex. So as a mother, as a parent, why are you waiting? Explain. And we should stop this idea of this thing is a toy. It's not a toy. Let's explain, give them the right words. It's a penis, it's a vagina, it's a breast. This part, we don't touch them. Don't let anybody touch them. Okay? Let's talk to them. And I would advise parents that please, those of us in like single rooms or one room with the kids, when we are having this intercourse, let's be mindful, because these ones, some don't sleep. They might watch what you are doing and they'll go and repeat it. Now to the church, that is where the very big tax is. We have a lot of things to do. I think this attitude of mothers being role models and fathers being role models are going down. Because those times, when you are wearing a dress, even if you start developing breasts, you somebody calling you, come, what is this? But now, it is mind your business church. Me, I should go and say it and they will insult me. I won't. Leave there. But don't forget, if this child becomes wayward, he or she might come to your doorstep.
Now, my next question has to do with, when people are in a relationship, trust is one of the, let's say, pivotal foundation that will hold any relationship or marriage. So there's a perception that, let's say, if two individuals, a woman and a man, who are in a relationship, who are yet to get married, when they engage in sex before marriage, is going to guarantee the trust in that marriage. How true is that? Is it true that sex before marriage some way, somehow guarantees trust in a marriage?
I would say 100% yes. I'm not sure. Because I know some people who had sex and then they didn't marry. So where is the trust? Please, my ladies, if a man says that let me have sex with you before I marry you, that man actually is not serious. Don't go in for such a man. Let's take a Tavi for example.
No, but the person wants to know whether you trust him. So why wouldn't you want to?
So you can't use Bible to trust, but sex. You can't tell me let's fast for 3 days and nights. You had sex. You can't tell me I'm buying a Bible. Let's do Bible quiz and see if I will win, but sex. You can't say let me take you to your parents' house, but sex. Why sex?
So it doesn't guarantee trust
at all, my dear. Don't even do it. Okay. As a lady, if a man brings in sex, that man is not serious. Just leave him.
But shouldn't, some way, somehow, it might come up.
Do you know one thing I want to add up?
What should a partner do?
Do you know something?
Okay.
It's like bringing a bride to your house and you're meeting the bride at the entrance. For what? Before I married, we all had that fantasy. But after marriage, I can tell you boldly that sex is even annoying. Because there will be times our husbands will call you for it, and you are tired. You will tell him, please, it's too much. For today, I just want to relax because I'm tired.
Okay.
So, trust and sex is opposite. It doesn't go the right way.
Okay.
It's not true.
Now, for every rational human being, and I think this cut across, for every rational human being, you definitely have a reason for doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
If you are going to school, there's a reason.
Yeah.
If you want to sleep, there's a reason.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the reasons people give for engaging in sex before marriage? What do you think are some of the reasons?
Oh, there's a lot. You
And
know,
do you think
I'm in the secondary school.
they
So
are
I have a lot of
legitimate-
girls that talk to
legitimate
me.
reasons.
To me, it's nonsense. Some would tell you, I want to see the size of the penis before I marry. What are you using it for? Some would say, I want to see, is it sweet? For what? Some will even say that, so that I want to see if it is working or not. Come on!
Don't you think there are some genuine reasons?
Which toffee have you bought? And the toffee seller removed it and said, taste before you buy. Is it real? You buy it with a cover, with a wrapper. You now go and unwrap it and taste. Even though it is sweet or not, you've bought it. It's your money. I'm not against you checking the size because it might be. I'm not against it.
So hold on.
I'm not
let's
against it.
let's be careful on this tangent. So if you're not against, how do you determine that one?
Thank
'Cause
you very much.
For our viewers, we are Christians. We
Yes.
know that sex before marriage is bad, and we are not encouraging it on this platform. But we are just trying to educate
Yes.
people. So when you talk about that, are you not necessarily engaging in sex before marriage?
No. You can see this thing naturally. When there are some times, please, I'm not advising you to be a bad person, but just listen to me with the spirit of the Lord. In fact, whether it is big or small, what are you using it for? That's my question.
But maybe that's the concern of that person.
No, please.
So that's what I'm asking. What do you think are the reasons? Basically, we know the Bible frowns upon it, but
It's wrong.
we are just trying to draw people's attention for our viewers who are watching us.
Those people who ask for it are the ones who have had sex before. And let me clarify this thing for you. There are some people, they've had sex enough, right?
Okay.
So, excuse my language, I have to be plain. I've seen different types of the P, that's the penis. So, this person has been having sex always, right? Now, she has been enjoying, like, let's say, a bigger penis. And now, she's going to marry. This person has to check. Because if she marries and gets one with a small penis, trouble.
But what then happens if the person is not ready? Because maybe the person is a devout believer and maybe he doesn't.
Then it means whatever you get, maintain. Don't ask for less or ask for more. So don't go. That's what I'm saying. Don't entertain it. Do you know something? If you don't test it, anything that comes, you are enjoying it.
Okay.
Are you getting me?
Please continue.
That is why we are saying a Christian lady and an unchristian lady don't have sex before marriage. So when you go in, whether big, whether small, you had it. That is all. But if you taste, now you want criteria. So don't taste at all. And I know something about God. He knows. I have a friend. I don't want to mention her name here. She will tell you she prays to God that God give me a man with a very big dick. That's a prayer before marriage. That's a prayer. So if it comes and it's small, it's not the husband God has brought. Yes. And she's there waiting for the person with the big one.
Okay. Now, as you said, as you quoted from Hebrews,
Yeah.
the Bible says the marriage bed should be kept pure and undefiled.
Undefiled.
Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Now, I know in your introduction you touched on this a little bit, but I just want you to reiterate it more.
Okay.
Now, why at all should sex be in the confines of marriage and not anywhere else? Why should it be? Why should the boundary? I mean to get the clear explanation. Why should it only happen in the confines of marriage and not anywhere else? Why at all?
This question, please, I think we have to direct it back to God, because God made it. That is how He said it. There are some things is God, and in First Baptist Church, that is our principle. That's what we do. Sex before marriage is out. So for us, it's sex before marriage. So why we don't know? Why we know?
For us, sex after marriage, not
Sex. Sorry,
Yes,
after
yes.
marriage. Sorry, after marriage. So we don't believe in that. Before, we don't believe in it. It's after. So why I don't know, but God, you have to ask Him. That's how He made it. He said it's only for married couples. If you're not married, abstain. That's how I know.
So, viewers, I hope you are enjoying the deliberation we are having about sex before marriage. And our sister, Mrs. Rachel Awal, is helping us to discuss a little much more about what we need to know about sex before marriage. So please, our viewers, for young people who are watching us this afternoon, we know there will be difficult moments. Yes, as biological beings, those instincts will be there. But please and please and please, as young as we are, let's devote ourselves to God and make sure that we keep ourselves pure until marriage. Because God has a boundary for everything He has created. And one of the things that He has created is sex and marriage. And that boundary for sex is only in marriage and nothing more, nothing less. Now, please, will you help us explain how a would-be couple should deal with issues of sex before marriage? Because definitely, since you're in a relationship, you'll be talking about a plethora of issues. Sex, your children, maybe the number of kids you want to have, your finances, your plans. And one of the issues that you cannot run away with has to do with issues of sex. Now, you are a would-be couple. You are not yet married. How should you go about issues of sex before marriage, like issues of sex?
Oh, could be couples to be. You should talk about it a lot. You know, like how many times you do it. You make me to remember something that is very funny. I don't think I have to disclose this here. Yeah, it's all lie. It's not good. I won't talk about that. You have to a lot. You have to talk about it. Like the number of children you give birth to. But one thing is this. Couples to be. Don't go near your houses. Don't go and visit your partner. That, oh, I'm going to see how my room is. Forget it. By the time you come back from his room, what you don't want to do, you do it.
So would-be couple shouldn't visit each other alone?
No. Go with somebody.
No, but there are some things maybe for privacy
It should
sake.
be on phone. Chat. Don't go near it. That thing, it is fire and gas. It is fire and petrol. No matter what, they will meet. And devil is so cunning that minute, he can enter into any of them at the same time. Either the man or the woman. Oh, let me give you a peg. Just a peg. From peg, you realize that it is going down. By the time you realize, a week to your wedding, you have already enjoyed sex. So the best thing, don't go near each other. So you get married.
Okay. Now, on the issue of that, what effect do you think sex before marriage has on the will have on the would-to-be couple after they've gotten married? Because now it's like, you know, we've made a firm conclusion that the boundary for sex is marriage. Now, let's say we have a would-to-be couple. They are yet to get married, and they've been having sex before marriage. What effect does it have on the marriage? Because all that you need to, let's say, see or know, you've already done it, and now it's like you are even fed up with it in the marriage. What effect does it have? Because you've already done it before.
They have eaten the forbidden fruit.
Okay.
And they'll be punished. You get a repercussion after it.
So does it mean?
I know some who did it and they didn't marry again. Yeah.
Now let's narrow it down to those who got married.
Oh.
What effect?
It's
is it that
hard.
they won't trust maybe if the partner is not around? One might think, okay, I'm not around, so maybe my wife can go outside and go and sleep with someone else. I want us to look at that angle.
Not really, but that first time joy you will get, you don't have it because you already have it. So it will be like a routine, something you are doing. Normal. It's like we've already done it before. So I don't want to talk about mine because mine was funny. Actually, but I won't talk about it here. No, you're online.
Sure. Now,
So,
so basically, the only alternative or one of the things you would say that a would-be couple should do to, let's say, deal with issues of sex before marriage is that they shouldn't be visiting each other to.
they shouldn't come closer enough. That will lure them to do it before marriage.
Okay. So now to my next question. I think we've touched on this too, but just for clarification's sake, why at all can't people just wait for marriage before they, let's say, have sex? What's the reason? Why at all? Is it the time you find ourselves in? Is it the peer pressure? Is it what at all is the reason?
For the youth, it's youthful exuberance. You know, it's an age. So they want to do what people are doing. And if you don't do it, you are colloquial. So you want to also experience it. And you will see your friends. There was this something trending on the social media about these two girls talking about their boyfriends. So this was how the way he fucks me and all those nonsense. It's like a normal talk now. But if you are a Christian, I don't think you should be saying such things. So it's becoming like a norm, and our body is stages. When they get to a stage, the body itself calls for it naturally. You know, when a woman is growing, when you start developing your breast and the pubic parts, you start developing, those things comes. That is why our mothers are supposed to be there. You might feel this thing. Somebody told me, if you are feeling it, go and put rope there. It will lessen your pain. It's natural, it comes. But God is saying we should endure, sustain, control ourselves. That's one thing He's telling us.
Now, lastly, what are some of the repercussions or the dangers involved when you engage in sex before marriage? There are repercussions that we know, but if you could enlighten us.
You know, God says He doesn't like it. And that's one thing why Apostle Paul didn't marry. He can't stand it. He doesn't want trouble. So he didn't marry too. So if you ask Apostle Paul that, Apostle Paul, how is sex? Tell you, hey, for me, I didn't even go near that thing. Because I want to focus on Christ. Sex takes you off the line if you don't do it the right way. It takes you off. That's number one. Number two, God will punish you. Because that man you're having sex with is not your husband. So what have you done? Fornication. That is the sin we do against our body. So why is sin against your body? That's an issue. It's a whole big thing. You are sin against your own body. No God, your own body. They are in trouble. Do you get it? So it's a lot. And also, imagine somebody sleeping with you and you don't marry the person again. And you see this person outside. How do you feel? Guys of today, when they meet and they see you passing, they will tell themselves, for this one, I've had sex with him for a long time. Look at the embarrassment. Look at the disgrace. You are disgracing yourself. Then, keep your panties on and be safe. So, and even you guys, when the girls meet, they talk about you people as if he's a man. Nothing. It's a very big disgrace. Some can even take poison and drink because of that. So, it's not the best. It's not easy. To be sincere, it's not easy.
It's not easy nothing to control yourself before marriage.
Sometimes the urge comes for you to do it. So, but if we have the Spirit of God, we can command that thing that the sexual feelings coming to me, I bind you in the name of Jesus. Don't come into my thoughts. And let's be cautious of what we watch, what we see. Some of our youth now on our phones, you are more like the pornographic director. You have all kinds of pornography. What are you using it for? The more you watch, out of the abundance of the heart comes what? From the mouth, right? So, what you are watching speaks in your mind. So, definitely, you will see a lady twerking, but your trouser is already tall. what is in your mind already? It's an issue. So what we consume has a problem. What is wrong if you're watching TV and they are kissing? Put it off and start playing gospel. Is it a sin? But put it off. Massa. I'll finish it to the end. After watching this film you have watched and has aroused you, what next? You have to do what they did. And also, these aphrodisiac drugs we are taking of late has effects. On us. You take some drugs, it enlarges every part of your body. So now, so far as that's hardened, what's next? Something must go on.
So, as we conclude, what are your final remarks, your final words that you have to say concerning what we've discussed about today?
I would say that those of us who are addicted to sex, we should look for adults who are responsible and tell them our problem. They can solve it. Because there's an adage in Yoruba that says, where an adult sits to watch, even if you climb the highest ladder as a child, you can't see. Because they have experience.
Wouldn't you think it's more spiritual than the physical? As in, let's say
both. Some too are physical. There are some adults can give you experience of what he or she went through and you will stop. Or, like he's saying, you look for our pastors. Tell them your problem. Let them pray for you. I believe it will change. But if you can control it, let's abstain. Don't go near it. It is a kind of fruit that is sweet, but if you're not careful, as a lady, you can get pregnant when I'm supposed to get pregnant every day. You know what can happen. As a man, as a guy, you can have sex with all the women in the environment. Is it a good achievement? No. And everything you are doing, ask yourself, will God be happy about it? If not, please, let's abstain. And let's wait. Now on our wedding night, the woman is for you.
For you.
Anything you have learned you want to do, it is for you. But if you do it before, the wedding night becomes a norm. Because we have done it before. So please, let's try. I'm not saying by force. Let's try and abstain from sex. God bless us all.
Okay, so viewers, thank you very much for staying with us. This is your regular program, The Talk Show, and what we discussed about today was sex before marriage. My name is Jefferson Olabi, and my guest for today was Mrs. Rachel Awa. See you same time next week. God be with you all. Shalom.